On the day of judgment, you're either going to meet Allah's justice or His mercy. His justice is that He scrutinizes you for your deeds, like that person whose limbs are brought forth to testify. His mercy is that He overlooks those things and He forgives you. However, when it comes to issues between us and other people, Allah will hold us to a standard of justice only, because it would be unjust to not give the wronged person their right and forgive on their behalf. And that's why Imam Sufyan al-Thawri rahimahullah said, for you to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with 70 sins just between you and Allah would be easier on you than to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with a single sin between you and His servants. The Prophet ﷺ said the first thing concerning which judgment will be passed amongst the people on the day of judgment will be bloodshed. Now the scholars reconcile that the first thing between you and Allah called forward is what? It's prayer. But between the people, it's murder. And in one very vivid, authentic hadith, the Prophet ﷺ said, يَجِيءُ الْمَقْتُولُ بِالْقَاتِلِ يَوْمِ الْقِيَامَةِ نَاصِيَتُهُ وَرَأْسُهُ بِيَدِهِ. On the day of resurrection, I want you to think of the scene. The murdered will bring forth the murderer with his forelock and his head in his hand, and his own jugular vein is dripping with blood, and he will say, يَا رَبْ قَتَلَنِي حَتَّى يُدْنِيَهُ مِنَ الْعَرْشِ. And he's coming to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and saying, my Lord, he killed me. My Lord, he killed me. Until he brings him right up to the throne of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. SubhanAllah, imagine a scene where people are dragging their murderers and their oppressors to the throne of Allah to get justice. And that's why the Prophet ﷺ said, always be the abd that is mazloom, that is wronged, not the one wronging, that is maqtul, that is murdered, not the one that is qatil, not the one that murders others. And remember how the Prophet ﷺ said that the dua of the mazloom, the dua of the oppressed, has no veil to Allah, even if that person is a non-believer. Now, of course, that person has to deal with their disbelief on the day of judgment. But the one who wronged that person is still going to be held to justice. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Man ظَلَمَ مُعَاهِدًا." Whoever wrongs a person that is protected by a covenant, meaning one of the people of the book, by violating his rights, or by burdening him with more work than he is able to do, or by taking something from him without his consent, he said, أَنَا حَجِيجُهُ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ. I will be his prosecutor on the day of judgment. SubhanAllah, can you imagine the Prophet ﷺ standing against you as a prosecutor on the day of judgment on behalf of who? On behalf of a disbeliever. Because you still have to face justice for wronging that person. Even more than the Prophet ﷺ being a prosecutor against you, imagine Allah and the Messenger ﷺ being at war with you.